A cold case that shocked London. A little girl vanished just days before Christmas. And when they found her, the truth was darker than anyone imagined. So sit tight, and let me take you back in time. This is the forgotten story of Vera Page. December 1931. London was wrapped in fog. The kind that softens every streetlight, and makes every shadow feel closer. In Notting Hill, a quiet working-class neighborhood, families were preparing for Christmas. Children laughed. Mothers called them in from the cold. Among them was a 10-year-old girl named Vera Page. Bright-eyed, polite, loved deeply by her parents, Charles and Isabel. But one afternoon, everything changed. Vera left home for a short walk, and never returned. 2 days later, her body was found in a garden, barely a mile away. London was horrified. A child, gone, and a killer still among them. This is the case of Vera Isabel Minnie Page. Born April 13, 1921, in Hammersmith. The only child of a modest, hard-working couple. Vera was shy, gentle, well-behaved, the kind of little girl every parent dreams of having. By 1931, the Page family had moved to Notting Hill. A tight-knit community of ordinary people, sharing small joys and daily struggles. On December 14, Vera was asked to run a simple errand. To collect her school swimming certificates from an aunt nearby. It was a short walk. Just a few streets away. A matter of a couple of minutes. Her mother might have said, "Don't be long, dear. Supper's nearly ready." Vera smiled, put on her red beret, and stepped out into the cold. A simple trip. That would become her last. At first, no one worried. It was still normal. Maybe she stopped to see a friend. But as darkness fell, worry turned to fear. When Vera hadn't come home by evening, her parents went straight to the police. Officers spread out across Notting Hill. Neighbors joined in, calling her name through the fog. Vera. Vera Page. One witness said they saw her around 6:45 p.m. wearing her red beret, carrying a large envelope. But after that, nothing. It was as if she'd vanished into thin air. By the next morning, headlines read, "Little Girl Missing in Notting Hill." At this moment, London held its breath. Two long days later, the morning of December 16, 1931. A milkman, doing his early deliveries along Addison Road, Kensington, stopped at number 89. Something caught his eye, a small shape in the garden shrubs. He walked closer, and froze. It was Vera. Fully clothed. Still wearing her coat. But her red beret was gone. The ground was damp from rain, yet her clothes and body were dry. That detail was chilling. It meant she hadn't been lying there long. Someone had killed her elsewhere, then moved her body. A few leaves had been scattered over her, a clumsy attempt at concealment. Detectives soon arrived at the scene. And with them, the legendary Home Office pathologist, Sir Bernard Spilsbury. The quiet December street turned into a crime scene. And the search for a child's killer now truly began. Spilsbury's findings were grim. Poor little Vera had been raped, and strangled by hand. Her clothes held coal dust, and small traces of candle wax. A type not used in her home. And then, a strange clue. A finger bandage, stained with ammonia, tucked under her arm. Ammonia, commonly used in laundries. From this, detectives believed Vera had been kept, or killed, somewhere indoors. A cellar. A dark storage area. Or maybe even a laundry. Then, her body was placed in that garden, sometime before dawn. The evidence was chilling, but still incomplete. No fingerprints. No witnesses. Only fragments of a terrible truth. Soon, attention turned to one man, Percy Orlando Rush. A 41-year-old laborer. He lived nearby, in the same building Vera's family once had. And yes, he worked, in a laundry. He admitted knowing Vera. But his story changed every time he was questioned. What's really going on with this guy? He'd recently injured his little finger, and had it wrapped in a bandage typically similar to the one found with Vera's body. Then came over another clue. Several witnesses saw a man pushing a barrow, covered with a red cloth, around 6:40 a.m. close to where Vera was found. That red cloth, and that barrow, later matched items linked to Rush. The puzzle pieces seemed to fit. Almost perfectly. And yet, no one ever saw him with Vera that night at all. No chemist recalled selling him that kind of bandage. It wasn't enough. Not for an arrest. Not for a conviction. Public anger boiled. People were convinced he was guilty. But suspicion isn't proof. On February 10, 1932, the inquest opened. The courtroom was crowded, journalists, neighbors, even strangers who'd followed every headline. Everyone was there that day. The coroner's jury deliberated for only 5 minutes. Their verdict, murder by person or persons unknown. The crowd erupted. Gasps. Shouts. Tears. Everyone believed Rush had done it. But the law said otherwise. Without proof, he walked free. For Vera's parents, it was unbearable. They had lost their daughter. And justice along with her. Over 1,000 people were interviewed in this murder case. Every possible lead, checked. Every theory, explored. But the truth never came to light. Percy Rush lived until the year 1961. Never charged. Never cleared. Haunted by whispers for the rest of his life. The murder of Vera Page became one of Britain's most haunting unsolved crimes ever in history. Even today, researchers still debate this mysterious case. Was Rush truly guilty? Or was the real killer someone else? Someone who slipped quietly through the fog that night, vanished and was never seen again? We may never know. What we do know is this: a little girl's short walk home became one of the darkest chapters in London's history. The story of Vera Page reminds us that even in familiar places, darkness can hide in plain sight. Sorrow is all over the places in every corner of the city. A few quiet streets. A child's laughter. A city that would never be the same again. If this story moved you and you want to hear more forgotten and unsolved true crimes, please subscribe and tap the bell icon to get notified. Tell me in the comments, what do you think happened to Vera Page? Until next time, stay curious and vigilant. And thank you for listening.